Hi everybody, it's Catherine from the In the Pink Designs. I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator, so the products that I use you can purchase from me through Stampin' Up at the address at the top of the screen. It's also listed below. Okay, today I am using 2 bundles for this Halloween box. It's a kind of an unconventional color. I like it. I love pink, of course. I used the Bewitching stamp set along with the Witch Hat Builder Punch. You get 10% off when you buy things in a bundle. And Scary Cute stamp set along with the Scary Silhouette dies. Alrighty. I also used, for the Stylish Shapes dies, I used for this square and this circle here. And I used the Dots and Spots dies along with the Stylish Shapes dies to get this square right there. I'll show you how I did that. Okay, first, the month of September, this is my new host code. Please put it in if you're spending under $150 and I can send you a gift. We have some new things at Stampin' Up this month. Every week there's going to be new deals. Under the specials, when you go on my website, there's on the left-hand side, when you hit shop, it says there's a whole bunch of things, and it says one of them is specials. And each week they'll be listed. I think there's about 8 items in there that have a percentage off of them. So you can check that out. That's a sale. And also new dies are now available. I showed you this Birthday Piggy dies. They're playful piggy dies, actually. This Birthday Piggy stamp set. They're available now while supplies last, just till the end of September. We have Apple Harvest has new dies, Fresh Cut Flowers, This Birthday Piggy, Trimming the Tree, Waterfall Canyon, and Yeti to Party. Those all have new dies that are now available. Okay, so what we need for this project is a piece of Smokey Slate cardstock that is 9 3/4 by 5 1/2. We need some basic white to stamp our hat. We need a scrap to stamp the sentiment. We also need a scrap for the hat band. Okay, now from the Scary Silhouette dies, the only thing I did was cut 3 bats. There was a die set last year that had some bats in it too, so if you have that, those are good too. Okay, we need 5 pieces of the Brights Designer Series paper, and this is Melon Mambo. This is polished pink. If I didn't say that was polished pink. We need 1 piece that is 3 1/4 by 3 1/4, and we need 4 pieces that are 3 1/4 by 3/4. Okay, now with this dotted and stitched square here, how I got it was I took the Dots and Spots die and I cut out, well, like I got 2 out of each. I cut out a whole piece of basic white to fit this piece, and I ran it through. And I got a big piece that was wider than this. Okay, and then I took this die from Stylish Shapes die. The square comes out to be 2 3/4 by 2 3/4. So what I did was I lined it up so that none of the circles would go off the edge. So it looks nice and closed. And I got 2 of them out of that 1 sheet if I cut out a sheet this big. Okay, so that's how I did that, and I really like how it's finished on the edges. I don't like any jaggedy edges going around. All right, so let's start with, oh, I forgot to show you what's in it. It unties like this. Now you don't have to even tie it because I left so that you can stick this back piece in if you want as a regular box. And it is a Russell Stover Chocolate Covered Marshmallow Pumpkin. Alrighty, it's 3 1/2 by 3 1/2 by 1. So you can fit other things in here. You don't have to just get this pumpkin, but the pumpkin fits in there really nicely. All right, and then you just tie. You don't, of course, as I said, you don't have to do the tie. You can tuck this in and then maybe put a bow up here or something if you don't want to go all the way around the box. All right, now let's get our Simply Scored, and we're going to start on the 9 3/4 inch side first, and we're going to score at 3 1/2, 4 1/2, 8, and 9. And we're going to turn it to the 5.5 inch side, and we're going to score at 1 and at 4.5. Okay, and that's it. Right now I'm just going to fold and burnish. Okay. And this is what we're going to do. Alrighty. Okay, so how I have it laying here is there is a 1 inch strip on the top and the bottom, and on this side there is a 3/4 inch strip and then a 1 inch strip. Okay, we're going to start on the left. Okay, go to the first score line, cut it to the first score line, next score line, cut it to the first score line, and wedge each side of this square. Okay, now we're going to turn it a 1/4 turn so it's the long way. Okay, we're going to go to the first score line and cut it straight to the second score line. We're going to take off this rectangle at the bottom and then wedge each side of the square. Okay, now these are our flaps here. So we're going to go to the next score line, cut it straight to the second score line, take off this bottom rectangle, and then wedge each side of the square. Okay, now another 1/4 turn, and this is the first score line that's left. We're going to go to this score line here, which has the square in the middle, cut it to the first score line, other side of the square, cut it to the first score line, and then wedge each side of the square. Okay, and then the only thing left to do is to take a little finger grip out of here. I'm not going to do it this time because I'm using it to fold over, so we don't need it. But if you intend on tucking it in, definitely take that little half circle out so that they can grab it. All right, so this is what your cardstock should look like. Oh, one more thing, you want to round the corners of your flat. I think I'm definitely in need of a new blade on my cutter because it's not cutting cleanly anymore. So I'm going to just round both corners of that end flat. And that's what it should look like. Okay. All right, I'm going to use liquid glue for this one. And what we want to do is take the tab and attach it to the rectangle that is not attached to the flaps. Okay, so we're going to put glue on both of these. This just keeps it out of the way for you. And then match the score line on the square with the side of the rectangle on both sides. Sorry, I'm out of frame. Okay, now we're going to put glue on the other rectangles here. And fold down and match them up to the rectangles that we just put the tab on. And just let that make sure the bottoms are straight and the sides are straight together. Okay, and if you put your little finger grip there, you can tuck that 3/4 inch strip in. And I'm just going to fold it over and tie it with some pretty ribbon. Okay, now we need our DSP. On this one, I didn't have enough of this Pretty Flower DSP to go all the way around, so I didn't do it on this one. All right, so now we need... This again is the Bright 6x6 DSP, and I'm using Melon Mambo. Now, I didn't even have enough for this. I was one short because this is 3 1/4 by 3 1/4, so it kind of screws up everything because it's only 6 inches wide. So for that last piece, all I did was just glue 2 pieces together. And since the pattern is very kind of random on here, you don't even notice it. All right. Okay, so I'm going to have this on the side. So I'm going to glue the piece that is 3 1/4 by 3 1/4 on the top, and the pieces that are 3/4 by 3 1/4 all around the sides. Okay, now we're going to do some stamping. I'll let that dry a little bit. Okay, so we need some basic white for the hat and some smoky slate for the sentiment. So I'm going to use Tuxedo Black for both of those. Great. Okay, we'll work with the sentiment a little later. So now I'm going to punch it out with my Witch Hat Builder punch. Okay. All right, and I only need one marker for this. I'm using dark smoky slate, and I'm going to do everything but the hat band. Okay, and that's it for coloring. That's an easy one today. All right, and then I need that little strip of polished pink, and I'm going to use that to cut the hat band out. There we go. Okay, and I'm just going to glue that on. Okay, now let's put this one's a dark chocolate one. And I got these at the grocery store. I know they have them at Rite Aid, but when my husband went to get them for me, they didn't have them out yet. But the grocery store did, Stop and Shop. Okay, so now we're going to take some glittered organdy ribbon and wind it around. So we'll tangle it. Okay. And it's going to be on this side. So I'm just going to tie a bow kind of at the edge of the top. Okay, and then I'm just gonna clip off the ends. Alrighty. Now it goes this way. Make sure, yes. Okay, now we need our square that I cut out. This was using the spots and dots dies, and then I lined it up so that no circles would go over the edge, and cut it with a 2 3/4 by 2 3/4 square die from Stylish Shapes dies. Now how I put this on is a lot of mini dimensionals. So I'm just going to put them as close to the corners as I can get them. And then just add in 2 more to just hold it nicely. Okay, and the best way for the mini dimensionals that I feel, if you don't want to struggle getting them off with your finger, I lay down my take your pick tool, make a little dent, and then just pick it up. And it works really well. Okay, and then I'm just going to center it right on this piece here. Just gently push it down. Okay, and then I'm going to put some regular dimensionals on the back of my witch hat. I only have edges left, so I'm just going to cut them. I have more somewhere, but I don't feel like finding them at the moment. And it's good, actually. It'll get all the way almost up into that tip. One right there. And one right there. Okay. This, I don't think I peeled off the whole thing. I did not. There we go. Okay, and then I'm going to put it tilted right in the center. Just like that. Okay, now let's work on our sentiment. This is the smallest circle from the Stylish Shapes dies. It's about, when it comes out, it's about 7/8 of an inch, but you could use a similar one. And I put the boo towards the bottom so that we could put the little bat up there. Okay, and then I taped it and I cut it out, and I'll be right back. Okay, there we go. I just put it right at towards the bottom. Okay, I'm just going to put some liquid glue and have it hang off both edges there. Okay. Now I'm going to use some black and white gingham ribbon, and I'm going to tie the smallest bow I can. I just keep adjusting it until it's small enough. And I'm just going to clip it off. Right, we want to have it kind of hanging off the back of the hat. So I'm going to use some glue dots. Just put one right on the back, on the knot, the back of the knot. And I'm just going to place it. Just cover that over. Right on the end of the hat band there. Alrighty. Now we're going to work with the bats. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take my fingernail and bend it right at the point on each one. These are from the Scary Silhouette dies. All right, the smallest one, I'm just gonna actually glue pretty flat on these. I won't put glue all the way up to the ends, but I'm gonna glue it mostly flat on the sentiment so it doesn't get away. There we go. Okay. Then I'm gonna get some mini dimensionals. Again, you're going to take your pick tool. These are not them. Here they are. Okay. And it would be good to have the black ones, but since we're putting it on a white piece background, I think it's fine. Oops. Just going to put them on the wings where they fit. You could just glue all these flat too if you don't want to go through fidgeting with all those little small pieces. And I'm going to take the one that's a little bit bigger and I'm going to put it right here in this bigger open space. And then the other one I'm going to put right up here over the hat. See? Okay. Then for the final touch, well actually I'm going to put Wink of Stella on the bats. So I like them to be shiny. You could also use, I know we had the black glitter paper last year. You can use that. We have the one with the dots on it this year, but I want it flat black. Which I'm not making flat, I'm making it shiny, but I wanted solid black is what I meant to say. All right, and then I'm going to take some Iridescent Rhinestone Basic Jewels and put 3 on the hat, the small ones, on the band. 1. One over there, and then one in the middle. Okay, and that's it. I hope you enjoyed this. I love doing a project every year that's a little bit unconventional colors for each holiday. Makes it interesting. Okay, and that's it. If you have any questions, my email is below. The link to my blog, which has all the measurements, and the link to my website where you can purchase all of this. Don't forget to check out the specials for this week of September and the new dies that are out for while they last. Alrighty. Also, if you'd like to join my team, I would love to have you. You get a 20% discount every time you order. And there's no pressure to stay if you don't want to do it. You just let the 3 months expire. Alrighty. Have a great weekend, and I will see you next week. Bye.